good day everyone. So our topic is about gender and sexuality online. So gender refers to a status being a male or female in a relation to the social and cultural roles that men and women's expected to play derived from the word. Sexuality on the Internet sexuality is a catch-all word for all sex-related content and action visible to the internet. Online sexuality emerged as a social force in 1998 with the advent of the first desktop computers and public computers networks. In the 1990s, with the widespread adoption of internet with each passing year, the number of academic articles on the internet sexuality has expanded dramatically. As a result, there are six major categories. The first one is the sexual implicit context, including erotic and pornography. The second is sex education. The third is sexual interaction. The fourth is sexual cultural, and the fifth is the sex comments. While online pornography is the most studied and debated type of internet sexuality, online sex education is the most popular of sex-related content. All six domains of internet sexuality are related with both opportunities and obstacles for diverse groups of internet users and sexual health.
Good day, Mr. Roldan Andines. My name is Alfred Dao, BSMT11-9. Our topic is all about gender and sexual online. When we say gender, it is the state of being male or female in the relation to their social and cultural roles that are considered appropriate for the man and woman. From the word internet sexuality is an umbrella term that refers to all sex-related contents activity observable on the internet. Online sexuality was first seeded as a social force in the 1980s. With the release of the first desktop computer and public computers network in the 1990s. With popularization of the internet since then, the volume of academic publications of internet sexuality has increased significantly with each passing years. Therefore, there are six main categories such as the first one, sexual explicit material, erotica and pornography. Second, sex educations. Third, sexual contacts. Fourth, sexual subculture. And the fifth, one sex shop. And the lastly is sex work. While online pornography is the most investigated and the most controversial form of the internet sexuality, online sex education is the most widely sought out type of sex-related content. All six areas of the internet sexuality are associated with the both opportunity and the challenges for the sexual health of different groups of the internet users.
In terms of gender, internet provided a space for individuals to express and explore their gender identity beyond limitations of traditional gender rules and expectations. Social media platforms, online forums, and other digital spaces have allowed people to share their personal stories and connect with others who understand their experiences and find support and resources for transitioning and living as their authentic selves. Also, in terms of sexuality, the internet has allowed for greater visibility to its representation of diverse sexual orientation and identities. Online communities such as dating apps and social media platforms have created spaces for people to connect with others who shares similar sexual interests and experiences, as well as access information and resources related to sexual health and wellness. And however, the online world can also present challenges and dangers for those who identify as LGBTQ plus, such as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and other individuals. Online harassment and discrimination, as well as the dissemination of harmful and inaccurate information, can also have negative impacts on individuals' mental health and well-being. It is also important for online platforms and communities to create safe, inclusive space for all individuals, regardless of their gender or sexual identity.
So my topic is gender and sexuality online. Gender and sexuality are complex and multifaceted aspects of human identity, and they can be expressed and explored in a variety of ways online. The internet provides a space for people to connect with others who share their gender identity and sexual orientation, and to explore different aspects of themselves without the same social or physical barriers that might exist in the offline world. One of the benefits of online spaces is that they can provide a sense of community and support for people who may marginalized or isolated in their offline lives. For for example, online forums, social media groups, and dating apps can provide a platform for people to connect with others who share their sexual orientation or gender identity regardless of where they live.
Good morning everyone, my name is John Allen Piobero from BSMT1 1-9, and my topic for today is Gender and Sexuality Online. These studies found gender and internet used to be predictive of several attitude and behavior orientation of young adults. In addition, findings from prevention studies show that frequency of internet use was significant associated with practice of content of sexuality explicit site. So what is gender and sexuality studies? Gender and sexuality studies trains you to examine gender, relationship or relation in the construction of gender and sexual difference from globally informed perspective, and to consider how gender and sexuality interest with the social categories on race, class, ethnicity, disability, and age of produce our complex social. So this is example of sexuality issues. Impotence, lack of sexual desire, anxiety or uncertainty about sexual orientation, conflict sexual desire between partners.
Gender and sexuality online. Gender is socially constructed and is one innermost concept of the self as a man, woman, and or non-binary person. It is who we are as a being, whether masculine, feminine, and so on. Meanwhile, sexuality refers to who a person is attracted to and can include a plethora of orientations. It is who we are emotionally, mentally, and physically attracted to. It talks about our sexual thoughts towards the other. It could be our attractions to our opposite or same sex. The concept of online sexual activity implies one or more person engaging in a sexually related behavior, on the internet. Internet is so broad, and since we are living in modernization, we can access almost everything. Not only internet help us in many ways, but it can also cause such activities like sexuality online, which should not be tolerated. Studies show people consuming sexual content on the internet turn towards unhealthy sexual habits like casual sex or having multiple sexual partners. With the influence of social media, many tend to engage in activities that are very alarming. Activities like this should stop, and the people should know that sexual activities should be done privately. Research has shown men and women of all ages and sexual orientations to use the internet for sexual purposes. Instead of using internet for good purposes, internet for now is used for sexual benefits. For example, the internet is used to access and upload pornography, to find sex-related information, to purchase sexual merchandise, and to find partners for romance and sex. Thus, the internet has made it easier to explore and express one's sexuality at less risk of negative personal sanctions. In this regard, the technological innovation has meant a sexual revolution, particularly for disenfranchised groups. While generally being perceived as positive, concerns have been raised about potential risks associated with the internet. Internet tend to help and at the same time ruins people's dignity. Some took advantage from posting their nude photos to earn further living or upload sexual intercourse just to satisfy their ability bodily needs.
So, good evening to the listeners. I am Lemang Sullivan from the group for presenting the gender and sexually online. So, when we talk about gender, we are talking about the state of being male or female in terms of social and cultural roles that are deemed appropriate for men and women, respectively. Well, and the second one is sexual activity on the internet. The phrase online sexuality is used to describe any sexually explicit material or behavior that may be found on the internet. For example, the popular platform called TikTok. So there are many ways that can be found sexually explicit, which is about being seducing someone and so on. So the origins of the internet as a social force may be traced back to the 1980s when personal computers were first made available to consumers. This is despite the fact that the internet did not become widely used until the 1990s. Since that time, there has been a rapid surge in the amount of research publications dedicated to the topic of sexuality that can be found on the internet. Hence, the first category is erotica and pornography. The second is sex, education, and so on. Three sexual encounters. One, there are essentially five distinct subcultures within the sexual realm, which is the sex stores, secret work, sex cafes, and so on. But we can found like hotels, from where they can say like a love hotel. So, while internet pornography has received the most attention and generated the most debate about sexuality on the internet, it is also the most illegal. The most popular form of sex-related content on the internet is instructional material. Each of the six categories of online sexuality is linked to potential benefits and risks for various demographics of internet users' sexual health. And that's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, we'll talk about the gender and sexuality. Gender and sexuality studies train you to examine gender relation and construction of gender and sexual difference from a globally informed perspective and consider how gender and sexuality intersect with the social categories of race, class, ethnicity, disability, and age to produce our complex social. Sexuality is about your sexual feelings, truth, attractions, and behaviors toward other people. You can find other people physically, sexually, or emotionally attractive, and all those things are a part of your sexuality. Sexuality is diverse and personal, and it is an important part of you, who you are. And that's all.